stood there bright as the sun on that California coast. She looked at him with soft eyes so innocent and blue.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. How are y'all? Ah, beautiful day here in Connecticut. It is 38 degrees and raining. Wonderful. Good to hear that, Sass. Ah, it's been a day already, folks. Good afternoon, Lana. How are you? Yeah, I'm sure, Jackie. Yeah, we're supposed to get. I'm gonna have to go out in a little while because with the rain that we're getting now, and then it's going to get really cold tonight, which means everything's going to ice up. And I have an oil delivery coming tomorrow or Wednesday, and so I gotta salt a little bit so the person won't break their neck getting to the house. So that'll be fun. No, ice is no good. Ice is no good at all. So let's hope that. Oh, the chickens are fine. You know, the chickens are not fans of the snow for real. I had to go out there a couple days ago. I shoveled an area for them so they can walk around in the enclosure and they can get over to their perch where they like to go. Um, and I had to take the snow off the tarp that's over the top of their enclosure because it was starting to weigh down. So, but you know, they're good. I mean, you know, their area where they sleep is nice and warm, and they can go in there during the day if they get cold. And you know, they got the food, they got their water, heated water, and yeah, you know, I go out there every day and check on them, and I, you know, give them their treats and stuff. So they're doing good. They are doing good. Bob Seger is one of those guys slash groups that I mean, the music never gets old. You know what I mean? It's like I could listen to Bob Seger, and not only does it remind me of growing up, but the music is just as good today as it was when we were kids, when he was popular. You know, it's one of those artists. Very, very good. Good afternoon, Jay Grandma. There are some people that are timeless, you know, some singers that are timeless, and he's one of them that it'll never get old. I mean, okay, let's see. There she is. Snarky Poo. We're going to listen to a little Snarky Poo Because let's face it was just Christmas. And in a couple nights we'll be celebrating. So, I think we should listen to her. Sunshine said she'd be going live the next couple nights. Ruby, no, that's not yours. Sunshine said she was going to be going live the next couple nights and putting out the truth about everybody. Yes, right, Fred. So that'll be interesting. Oh, thank you. It'll be interesting to hear what information Sunshine has to talk about. I'm just going to sit back with popcorn and listen. Ruby, no, that's not your gift. It's not your gift. It's not yours. So stop it. It'll be interesting to hear what she has to say. From what it sounds like, Sunshine is not going to be back on TikTok after the new year. So I love how everybody says, poor Ruby. Ruby, do you want your treat? Is that what it is? Okay, hold on. Let's get you your treat. Hold on. Here you go. There you go, boo-boo. Here, get it. There you go. Okay. There she goes. Okay. She has her treat. So it'll be interesting to hear what Sunshine has to say, because if she indeed is getting off of TikTok after New Year's Eve for the new year, then she's not going to hold back anything. Ruby opened all of her gifts. Now, the gifts that are under the tree now are the ones from my son from his uncles. Since they weren't here for Christmas. So keep an eye open for Sunshine going live. It'll be interesting to hear. But this is Snark from this morning. We'll see what Snark has to say. There were some allegations that Miss Sunshine put out about her. And I think she talks about it here. So, make up your own decision. That's what I say.
Let's expose someone I don't like is telling the truth. I'm going to tell you. But they're...
So if you want to stay informed on what's really going on in the world of TikTok, then hit that subscribe button and join me on this wild ride. Let's expose the truth together. And reminder, don't send money to anyone on TikTok.
Hey, she's using Sean's playlist.
Good, Pause. I'm glad you did.
Welcome in, Kentucky girl.
I don't have a problem. Even if someone I don't like is telling the truth, I'm going to tell you. But they're telling the truth. That's weird not to. Hi, Shiny. We're going to go over some stuff today.
And all the things!
The title of this live was Y'all Ain't Shit. I just forgot to put it on there. Because y'all really ain't shit.
Pep does it better than me, I'm not going to lie. I like when Pep does it.
I've been on the internet for a long time. Like 4 years.
It's not a long time to be on the internet.
Never in my 4
TikTok,
years,
I would imagine,
have I seriously ever considered using law enforcement for anybody on the internet. Never. That is until today. Or last night, I should say. Because y'all that sit up on this app and swear you stand for something and swear you got all the things necessary to make critical judgments of others are sorely mistaken. and I would ask you to take a step off your soapbox. The wind here right now is wild. It literally sounds like the walls are coming down.
Reminds me of a song. When the walls
Shiny, you got an honorable mention last night.
come tumbling down.
We're going to listen to the clip, don't worry.
You know what I find strange? I find it strange that she does not talk about anything going on in Gaza anymore. I mean, I haven't heard it. I haven't heard her talking about anything about that. Welcome in. I mean, it's just weird that, you push so hard, collect money. And then really ever since Scam and I and Breezy, did that live about her, it really kind of, she dialed it down. She dialed it back quite a bit. She must have solved all the problems. It's just weird. I mean, from what I understand, things aren't going that great over there. Can
you hear that? Because holy moly. Yeah, you got an honorable mention in
Sunshine said she's going live tonight and tomorrow, I believe.
Oh, Brittany, we're just gonna talk some shit. We're actually not going to talk shit. We're just going to respond to the horse shit. We're gonna listen to this clip. I think I have a couple other clips. And, I know you can hardly wait. I know you are so excited, Shiny.
Business owner, my Spectrum services help simplify my day. Everything we do is easier.
All right, so,
it helps our business just run really.
Alexa, volume.
Let me pause here for a minute. I wanted to touch on something quick. Fred Flintstone, are you still in here? Because I saw a screenshot of a comment where you asked a question yesterday, and I wanted to answer that. You had the question about why did I reimburse the money from the GoFundMe about Florida Man. I did that because I was sick of people saying that I scammed people out of money, and then they're trying to tie it into Guardians of Valor and all this other bullshit. And I was like, you know what? It's not even worth it. I'll reimburse everybody the money, but I'll still offer up the money for any tips. So that's what I did. Everybody got their money back, and I'm still offering up the $2,000, and I even offered another $1,000. So it's up to $3,000 for tips about Mike. So that's why I did it, just so you know. Because I saw a screenshot where you asked, and I didn't see it in the live. So just wanted to clarify that. Right, right. If FM can't figure out how to refund money, GoFundMe has to refund and send the money back to the people. He can't do that. But again, with Mike being such a savant on electronics and all that, it's really not that hard. It's not that hard to figure it out. I mean, it's not even that time consuming. It's a little annoying because you have to fill out some pages, paperwork and all that. But, once you do that and they verify it, I want to say I did it on I put the paperwork in on a Friday, and I was in touch with somebody over the weekend that took over the request. A couple emails back and forth, and I had to let my bank know that there was going to be money taken out from my account from GoFundMe. And once everything was in place, I think people got their money back in like 2 days. So it wasn't that hard.
Two. So, Sunshine went live yesterday. She had a lot to say. And this kind of overlaps the MJ stuff too, so conveniently we'll be able to cover everything. So we're going to start with Sunshine's clip from yesterday, and then I'm going to pause and I'm going to respond to the things that she's saying, because I don't know how many people were in there listening to her, nor do I care. But when people say that they stand on this and they stand on that, why is it always selective standing? Why do you select who you're actually going to stand on something?
Okay, Pam, so like when you didn't believe in doxing for anybody, but then in August when you asked Sunshine to dox all my information, that was okay. Wasn't okay for anybody else, but since it was me, it was okay. Selective. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Because a lot of people that come to this app and claim they stand on things only stand on those things for certain people. It is not blanket standing, okay? Not everybody gets covered in that. Only select people
Right.
that they deem worthy.
Right, Snark. Exactly. Like you do. Okay.
They will stand on that for. Not everybody. So when I was being relentlessly trolled in MJ's live the way I was, and the way I always am when I go into MJ's live, because MJ does in fact support this group of people. And they're constantly in MJ's chat, and they're constantly trolling me with really harmful stuff, man. Really harmful stuff.
I hear you.
And that's weird, because I want to say that, and I haven't listened to MJ's whole live, but I do want to say that MJ did make a reference to my mental health, and that's weird. That's really weird. Because the entire time that I've been on this app, I have done nothing, never weaponized my mental health. You ain't never caught me coming to this motherfucker saying I'm going to do a fuck thing to myself, so try again. Because I honestly haven't been in that.
Didn't you say something a couple nights ago? Welcome in, Crafty. Yeah. You know what, Mike? That's exactly what I was just going to say. I didn't hear the clip, but a lot of people messaged me. You know what, Mike? That's exactly what I was just going to say. I didn't hear the clip, but a lot of people messaged me and said, I was just going to say. I didn't hear the clip, but a lot of people messaged me and said that she had Do 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 do. I should have some hold music. I should have some hold music. I'm sorry about that. I got a call from. I got a call. What happens here in Connecticut, and I think it's a lot in the Northeast. Cash for Oil is a website where you can look at prices for a lot of independent oil dealers, and you can order oil from them directly at a much cheaper cost than it is from the big, the big companies. So that was them, and I had to take the call, or they wouldn't be delivering. So y'all can hear me now, I hope. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Testing, testing. Sybil. Testing, 1, 2, okay. Okay, thank you guys for holding on there. Let's go back to listening to the snarky. Yeah, cash for oil is great. Cash for heating oil is great.
Frame of mind in a long time. Good morning, Free Spirited. But the fact that I have been nothing but completely honest about my mental health, and I bring it to the internet when it is very relevant, when there's some fuck shit going on this app, framed around schmuicide, right? I then will use my voice and try to help anybody I can that might be going through it. If you want to call that weaponizing my mental health, baby, you don't know me, MJ. In fact, MJ, you don't know a lot of people, and you, in fact, admitted that you didn't know a lot of people, which makes a lot of sense to me, where you're getting your opinions in this. But I digress. Let's listen to Sunshine.
Explaining why you and I were no longer friends. That's all I did.
Let's start from the beginning. Hold on.
I'm not on the phone anymore.
One now that's got 3 types of fucking cancers, a fucking dick lotta, and can't remember shit. That's what we're doing here, right?
Good morning, Below.
Everything goes. Everything's off limits at this point. Also, just want to throw this out there. Shiny Penny, Pam. Shiny Penny liked my live, or my video about you on my other page. You know, the one about your stepdaddy and you asking him for money. She liked that live. Not your friend. Your friend right there. Maybe she's not your friend. I don't know. Who knows anymore? The one thing y'all won't do is talk about my children, especially lie about my children, and then expect me to not come.
Can anybody tell me the last time anyone spoke on Sunshine's children? Anybody? Yeah, I don't think so, because they haven't been spoken on.
Up here and fucking say a goddamn fucking word to you. It's gonna happen. Right, Snark? Like you giving your fucking stepdaddy tops because you wanted money in your late 20s? So you fucked your mama over to get your fix. Good job. Good job, girl.
Everybody heard that? Did everybody hear that? Because I'm going to play it again.
Yeah, I heard it.
Did everybody? I'm going to play it again if you didn't hear it.
Today you're going to play it again or tomorrow?
The one thing y'all won't do is talk about my children, especially lie about my children, and then expect me to not come up here and fucking say a goddamn fucking word to you. It's gonna happen. Right, Snark? Like you giving your fucking stepdaddy tops because you wanted money in your late 20s? So you fucked your mama over to get your fix. Good job.
So when I was in MJ's live the day that me and Mallory got into it, there was Susanna and Mikey D's Wi-Fi that were trolling me with a video that Sunshine had just posted concerning my sexual assault. Wild, right? Ain't that wild? Trolling me with a sexual assault.
Now, I don't know the story behind it. Okay, I'm not gonna weigh in on it. What Sunshine put out there was that Snark had. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. I'll let Snark talk about it.
Not only that, trolling me with that sexual assault that she knows is linked to suicide attempts in my life.
Hello.
So what exactly do y'all stand on? What do you stand on? Wow. They were trolling me with that in your chat, MJ. And you didn't care.
Good job, girl. And then you want to come back and say that it's SA. Good job. It's not. It's called prostitution.
Oh, thank you.
And it's called regret. That's exactly what it's called. But good on you. And then Trailer Park Barbie wants to say that I'm asking for her info. Okay. I'm asking for Trailer Park Barbie's info now. She wants to say she's off the app. Everybody, just so everyone knows, Trailer Park Barbie, also aka horticulturist Becky, who's off the app and claims she's off the app and doesn't see shit, but is always in everybody else's business under horticulturist Becky.
Yeah, I was accused of being that person.
Okay.
Totally not.
Let's keep up with the lies, y'all. Just like it's my fault that CPS was called and the FBI was called on Pam, right? Nope, that was Victoria's, LMM, and Breezy's, and Mitten's fault. Well, I was told from Victoria and Breezy, I didn't contact the FBI. Mittens did. Also, Mandatory did. Also, a whole bunch of other people did. But you know what I never did? Submit a fucking report. You know how the FBI got my name and number? Mittens. Miss Sarah gave them my phone number and my name. Said, you really need to talk to her. I'm not gonna lie to the FBI for you. Absolutely not. Also, I remember absolutely not talking about you at all, Pam, for like 2.5 weeks. We finally went live explaining.
That's a lie. That's a lie. But it's an insignificant lie, because what happened there was that Trina got up in a box and told Sunshine that I took a box in Breeze live and told everybody we weren't friends anymore and called her names, and that never happened.
Well, you and I were no longer friends. That's all I did. And then you go off on this tangent like, I am the worst person ever.
Oh, you absolutely
And I did this and I did that.
Oh, you
when
did.
Really it was Mittens and Mandatory and other people, not me. But I just sat there and let you do it because I knew you were fucking lying. You knew you were fucking lying. Just like you said, I'm the one that called CPS. You then said you got a FOIA. So if I'm the one that called CPS, play the fucking FOIA. Play it, Pam.
I agree with that.
Oh, that's right. You can't play it because it'll show that I'm not the one that fucking called, right? I'm pretty sure my voice is pretty distinguishable amongst everybody else's. Especially
We all know
back
that,
when the
Princess.
CPS call got called, right? I sounded way different. Hardly any voice. Super scratchy. I sounded like, no offense, OG, I sounded like OG. It was Breezy. It was Breezy or it was Leslie or it was somebody else that's a mandated reporter when you played that live showing those bruises on that child. Doesn't matter where you say they came.
Okay, so if that's true, right? Then why weren't any of the allegations that were made to CPS, why didn't any of those include the bruises on that child? If that's true, why every complaint made to CPS had nothing to do with the bruises on that child, which I was completely protected in because that happened at school. It's so well documented. So why wasn't that one of the allegations when CPS came here?
Well, you have the FOIA.
If somebody called because of that video or that picture I showed.
She also
It's
said
not
she
why.
saw the paper. Oh no, that was for the FBI visit.
From what happened, you went on a fucking live with thousands of people and showed a half-naked child.
I haven't had thousands of people in my life except for one time when I was covering that carpet in the ground thing. Never had thousands of people. Well, I can't say that. I used to have thousands when me and Des were going at it, but that was crazy business.
With bruises. Good job, Pam. You're a smart one. But then you want to blame me and then said you have the FOIA, but you don't want to play it. And you just want to go with the...
I never said I had the FOIA.
CPS. Do you know why you won't play it?
Oh no, Bob. She self-injures. She's autistic and she self-injures.
Because Breeze is the one that fucking fucked you over in the first place, right? Coming back to the chats with the rest of us with a whole bunch of shit talking and all the screenshots from your and hers chat. Right? That's right. I think your anger is misplaced, Pam. I think it is. I think your hate is misplaced.
I think it's very well
And
directed.
this whole weaponizing the schmoo side shit between you and Victoria LMM is, you know what? You can't see it, but all I got's a middle finger for you. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You don't care about my mental health. I don't give a fuck about yours.
This was Pam's
Point blank, period. That's it.
Yeah, you ain't fucking lying, trouble. Hey,
Also,
I want to make this very clear. What Sunshine is doing to Victoria right now? Absolutely horrible. You guys don't even know. I don't even want to tell you. She isn't telling you what she's doing because she knows how horrible it is. She knows exactly what she's doing to Victoria and I. And you guys, that's where I'm so confused. This woman is fucking dangerous to people.
Interesting.
What she is doing to Victoria is absolutely horrible.
oh, I think you should definitely start butting out of other people's fucking drama because it doesn't look good on you. And other people's lives, like yesterday in MJ, she fucking made you look ridiculous. Not only did you tattle on yourself.
MJ.
I have no idea. I don't even think I know who Victoria is, and I don't know what she's even talking about.
You contradicted yourself like 3 or 4 fucking times, bitch.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that really quick. So,
I don't know if I want to put it out here.
the part about who spoke to Farrah first or who went where first was so insignificant to me, I couldn't even remember how it happened. The fact that a friend of mine called me horribly upset. Horribly. You're reporting for what? Horribly upset about something. I listened to my friend. My friend was going to Florida Man anyway. Mm-hmm. He just wasn't available at that minute. I listened to my friend. That's what I did. And then I let...
I have to make a comment about that. My friend was going to go to Florida Man. What the fuck? Why do these people feel like they need to go to him? I mean, I don't understand why people, yeah, exactly. I don't understand why people just don't stick up for themselves. You know, fight the battles themselves. She's the TikTok arbitrator. I can use a different word, but I won't.
Florida man know that, hey, Farah has some information, and it's a lot. A lot. And then they had a conversation, and here the fuck we are. That shit was going to Florida man with or without me, dummies. You make the stupidest things significant.
Lives in a fan down by the river.
Who gives a fuck? My friend called me horribly upset. I took that. I didn't, and let me make this clear. What Farah told me about OG did not make an opinion in my head about OG. That opinion was made. Do you know why that opinion was made, MJ? MJ, the opinion was made after watching that woman. I made that opinion years ago, MJ. And do you know what you said last night, MJ? You said you don't even know who the fuck she is. You don't know anything about her. Well, the people that have watched her and do know about her, those are the people you should have been listening to before you took such a hard stance. Because tell me, MJ, if you don't know her or anything that she's done here, how can you be so confident? Because I've watched. I've watched since Rissa, and then Kai, and then Gina. Get the fuck out of here. My fucking decision about that woman was already made. And what I saw from the text messages was further evidence of the same fucking behavior. I saw evidence of that behavior in Amanda K's live with all the love bombing. Farah, gifting is her love language. Farah, I knew it then. And I even told Farah when she called me, hey, Farah, I was going to say something to you the other day when OG was in that box. Oh, I can see it. Maybe you should have went back and looked at a little bit of the footage on that woman, and then you would have had a better and more clear picture. Daisy, yes, all of it. All of it.
All the things.
Mallory. Oh my God, Mallory. MJ, another thing. Don't, all that. And then your people get up there and fucking back you up on it. Oh, we don't talk about things, without receipts. You let Mallory monologue for 45 seconds with nothing but lies.
Hold on. Yeah, 45 seconds. Yikes. Hold on. My thing is winding right now, which is strange. Because my phone is fine. Ruby. No more food for you. Hold on, guys. The YouTube is on the struggle bus right now. Give her some cookies. I'm telling you, this freaking... The only thing I can think of is because of the weather, but come on now, Spectrum, you blow. Let's go back.
We don't talk about things without receipts. You let Mallory monologue for 45 seconds with nothing but lies.
Ah. Well, it's going to hang here for a minute, I guess, until it catches up. But, you know, I as I always say, just listen. You know, you listen to people like Snark Talk when she calls out people for all of these things that are wrong that they're doing. And, I'm looking at the chat here and people are saying, oh, well, she did that to this person and she did that to that person. It's ridiculous. People like snark, and she's done this multiple times. How she's always saying that, oh, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And, oh, I have this and I have that. She in that respect is just like Florida Man and just like Jen. All these people that always say, oh, well, I have the proof of it. I mean, I'm still waiting now. What are we going on, 2 months? Remember when she kept saying, oh, well, I have a phone call. I have a phone call with the school district. And I'm going to play it for everybody. And then it was like happening that day. And then no, it was the next week on a Tuesday. And then no, it's on a Thursday. And then it's on a Thursday. And she says, oh, yes, I had the conversation and I'm going to play it. Oh, but I can't because it's on my phone right now and I can't play it. But I'm going to upload it. And then she doesn't upload it. And then you don't hear anything about it again. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It doesn't make sense because my phone is working fine. But this video is not playing. So let me see if it's just that video. It is. It is.
Get the fuck out of here. My fucking decision about that woman was already made. And what I saw from the text messages was further evidence of the same fucking behavior. I saw evidence of that behavior in Amanda K's live with all the love bombing. Farrah.
This went back a little bit.
Gifting is her love language. Farrah, I knew it then. And I even told Farrah when she called me, hey, Farrah, I was going to say something to you the other day when OG was in that box. Oh, I can see it. Maybe you should have went back and looked at a little bit of the footage on that woman, and then you would have had a better and more clear picture. Daisy, yes, all of it.
All the things.
All of it.
All of it. Everybody.
Mallory. Oh my God,
Let's
Mallory.
see if we can get past this part
MJ,
now.
another thing. Don't all that, and then your people get up there and fucking back you up on it. Oh, we don't talk about things without receipts. You let Mallory monologue for 45 seconds with nothing but lies. Nothing but fucking lies. And then expected me not to say anything. Wild. She didn't have a fucking receipt for a goddamn thing she was saying.
Interesting.
And you wanted me not to interrupt her? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
And that's why you got dropped
Keep your
from the
lies straight.
box.
See, this is the problem. When somebody comes in and tells you the truth, you know why my story never fucking change it?
And being like a misspeak and a lie, completely different things. Really ugly and really not a very critical thinking way of doing things, right?
Because I tell the truth, and it's easier to fucking remember the truth. You know why their stories are always changing and you can never pinpoint shit? Because they fucking lie. And it's hard to fucking remember your lies. Right, Florida Man? Right, Bougie?
All right, I'm going to make this
Right,
point.
Pam? Breezy?
My granddaughter's up, so I'm going to have to go. But I'm going to make this point, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to go over it again. Sunshine goes on to say in this live about the FBI agents and my granddaughter self-injuring while they were here. She says that the FBI agents told her that that was not their experience. I'm going to tell you that that concerns me greatly. That 2 federal officers were standing in my fucking living room looking at that child self-injure and then had the audacity to say it did not fucking happen. That is gravely, gravely concerning to me. Gravely.
Fred Flintstone, kids with autism, one of the big things that a lot of kids with autism have is they do really well. They do really well with structure. They do really well when they know what to expect, which is why structure is, an important part for a lot of these kids, a lot of their lives. And when something out of the ordinary happens, it can affect the kids, So that's what she's saying. That's what she's saying here. That's what she's referring to.
The bruises, the scratches, and the blood running out of her nose. Did I say that her nose bled while they were standing here? When I went over to that child, got her stood up and calmed down, and the blood began to pour from her nose, that is horribly, horribly concerning to me. What I will be doing for the rest of my day, Christine Fanjoy, is gathering all the evidence I need that you have given me willingly to get a protection order on you. You are a dangerous, dangerous person. The people you run with are dangerous. You are going...
Pam, hello. Pammy. It was okay when she was doing that stuff, when you were friends with her, right? It was okay when she was threatening to put out all my nieces and nephews, right? That was okay. But now that the tables have turned, it's not okay. Got it.
To get somebody hurt badly. MJ, if you want to have a conversation with me, I am willing to have that. But you're going to listen. You're not going to mute me. You're going to get off your fucking soapbox and listen.
I love her making demands.
Now you want to run around the app and judge, jury, everybody. I'm actively telling you that this woman is trolling me with a sexual assault. She is also trolling Victoria with her dead name. If you support...
Now, I have a question. She's trolling... Now, I don't know anything about this Victoria person, but from what I understand, the person's not on TikTok anymore. That's what people have said in the chat. How is she trolling somebody that's not on TikTok? Oh, she is on TikTok still. Okay. A dead name, from what I understand, is that when somebody, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me, when somebody transitions from one sex to another, I believe the phrase dead name comes from who they used to be. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it is. Oh, okay. Thank you, SM.
Any of it, you're just as bad as her, and do not give a fuck about the next human life. Open your eyes. I am not the only one that this woman has done this to.
She is just
But
me.
being trolled with my sexual assault in your fucking chat, MJ, and you let it go, that's where all the emotion came from. Not only sexual assault, but sexual assault that is seriously linked to childhood abuse. You want to look at the video? Let's see. I think I can get there. Let's go look at it. We'll all look at it together.
I have no clue, Peteness. I have no clue. I have no clue.
Let's look at it together. I think it's the best way to do it.
I was just going to say the same thing, Fred.
Yesterday, no big deal. I'm gonna edit it if I can. Try to get it so I can just stay off the internet. Go. Hold on. All right.
Pete. I think she's looking for something right now. I don't hear anything, and she's about to get off anyways.
So, the evidence that I have the messages you sent my children. I have every video you made on that Pammy page. I have all of it. And that's what
Hi,
I'll
Megan.
be doing this afternoon.
I don't know, Diva. I think so.
And in my county, Tuesdays and Thursdays is when PFAs are heard, 8:30 sharp. So I'll be there.
And that was her live. I'm just here to play people's words, folks. You know, it's like I put that video out, what was it, last week? Regarding, you know, people like Mallory and, you know, the whole thing with OG and all that, and other people that have walked away from Florida Man. Nobody's going to have sympathy for him. Yeah, she did scam. No, nobody's going to have sympathy for him because, they not only supported Florida Man, but were in boxes a lot of the time talking to him while he's done his foul shit. And, after the separation of some of the people came, and then they're complaining about it. That's sorry, sorry. I'm not going to be upset about it, She can't get a PFA in Pennsylvania for that. Huh. Obviously, she didn't do her homework, maybe. It's not going to happen, and with, Pam complaining about stuff that's happening to her, I'm sorry, but, when you openly sat by and supported people doing stuff and making calls, all of that kind of stuff, and now you're complaining because people are lying on you and stuff like that. Oh, well, sorry, but you know what? It's happened to a lot of people on this app because of people who you sat with. So, yeah, she did. And, I've said this, a number of times. Sunshine reached out to me a long time ago, and apologized for what she did. And to be fair, listen, it doesn't mean that it's right that she did it. I mean, it's like people think that, when Florida Man takes accountability for it, it's okay. It's not okay. And she knows it's not okay, that she did that. But again, it was okay though when Pam wanted it done to somebody that she didn't like. I've heard allegations, and I do not have proof of it, that Pam has called Sunshine's police department regarding false allegations of stuff. Sunshine has said that. Do I have proof of that? No. Does it sound like something that Pam would do? Yeah. I don't have proof of it, though. She said it in a live. Right. Same with FWA, Scam, tell us what you know about that.
So I obviously have had to research protection orders. I live in the same state as Pam, which is Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania, you can only get a protection order if you have a certain type of relationship with the person who is harassing you. They have to
So,
have
like,
been
you have
like
to date them or marry them?
yeah,
Or,
like a
okay.
spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, a former spouse or a former boyfriend, girlfriend, or it could also be in some situations a household member, like a family member that resides with you that, or did reside with you. There
Right.
has to be a certain type of relationship with that person. It doesn't, just being a friend with someone does not fall within that guideline, or
Right.
somebody on a random person online. I mean, that's how the law is as of now. But yeah, unless she was in some type of relationship with her.
Maybe she was in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, you can Google it. It's an easy Google search. You can just Google, the criteria for getting a protection order in Pennsylvania, and it tells you that there has to be a certain type of relationship there or former relationship there in order to even qualify to file for that. It will get thrown out if you can't prove that there was one of those factors. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember you talking about that before. I remember you talking about that before, Scam. It's really easy to stop this. It's really easy to stop it. And it's called Don't Be a Dick on TikTok. How about that? You got a problem with somebody on TikTok, keep it on TikTok. Keep it on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, every state is different. And that's how it is in Pennsylvania.
Yep. Keep it on TikTok. There's no need to make phone calls, to falsely report people. It's, there's no need to call police departments, jobs, all that kind. Keep it on TikTok. It's the best way for this to stop, Best way for it to stop. But that's the problem. It's like, it's like going out for a night drinking, beer, You have a couple beers and you're fine. And once you go to the bathroom, it's over with. Once you break that seal, you're in the bathroom every 15, 20 minutes at that point. That's the problem on this app. People will break that seal by calling law enforcement or calling a job or calling somebody's significant other or somebody's child. And from that point on, it's like the gloves are off. And hey, Ruby, that's not your gift. Ruby, stop it. Then the gloves are off and everybody wants to go lower than the person that did something to them. And then that person goes lower. And then the other person's more pissed off and they go lower. And it's just never ending. Like it's, it's just not good. It's not good. I think it's weirder. Did you mean to request, or was that a mistake? Justice for Ruby's gifts. They're not hers. They're my son's. It was a mistake. Okay. So, listen, as I said, we're here to listen to people talk. For the most part, I'm going to keep my opinion out of it unless it's something that I have dealt with directly with the person, i.e., Pam saying that she was going to call my wife's job or my old school district or something like that. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Ruby, absolutely not. No more treats, no more gifts. I will play with you, but that means that you would have to play with me. Believe me, I hear her too, Diva. Yeah, listening, when you just listen to people talk and, you're, you hear the evidence of hypocrisy with the people, pointing out things that they've said or done in the past that shows that they're just talking out of their rear end. That's what it's all about, right? I mean, and I know a lot of people, like I missed Snarks Live this morning. I was asleep. I didn't hear it. There are certain people that I do want to replay. Replay. Whatever. Emphasis.
I think you should replay Renee.
She's a wackadoo.
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
gonna lie.
Her live from yesterday.
I didn't understand what that was all about. I mean, was she just trying to be overly annoying and begging just for the hell of it?
No, I mean, she used to be a beggar, so she was doing it to like be facetious. Like,
Okay.
okay, you want to call me a beggar? Well, then here you go. She's like, send me a penny, a penny, a penny, send me a
I
penny.
only
And
listened
then,
to like 20 minutes of it because I wanted to like break my phone. So she's not begging
just,
anymore?
well, I mean, she did, right before Thanksgiving, she did. And then she's kind of been dry begging or hinting around stuff for car repairs.
Mm-hmm.
She's also been complaining because apparently she sent money to what's her name? Julie Boo Bear,
Mm-hmm.
Angel Girl, Tequila
Mm-hmm.
Girl, whatever you want to call her. Because
Mm-hmm.
she used to go into Renee's lives and apparently Renee sent her money. And now she keeps on hitting Renee up for money on the back end, like on Facebook, and she's asking for on Facebook or
So beggars
something. And
begging from beggars?
yes,
Wow. That's a new genre.
yes. So it's still been really interesting to listen to what she's saying. And, she's upset that she's getting people are making videos and she's being posted on YouTube. And she's like, yeah, they want to say I'm begging. Well, here you go. You can post this on YouTube. And I'm like, okay. So it's
You're
on
like,
my
challenge
YouTube.
accepted.
Yeah, it's on my YouTube and it's I think about 20 minutes. It's hilarious. It's the way she acts is really funny. And she gives me a couple of shout outs too.
Well,
So it was,
good for her if she's not doing it anymore and doing it as much,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah. I
tell you,
mean,
that's
like I said,
interesting though.
she's still kind of dry. But the thing is, she keeps going live and saying she never did that. Like,
Oh, okay.
like in her live last night, she's like, "I've never asked anybody on here for money."
Yeah,
And
well,
then in the
that's a
next set,
lie.
and then the next sentence she says, "I only asked for money for my air conditioner that one time, and
Yeah,
for
that's a
food
lie.
that one time." So she keeps it going because she keeps denying that she ever did any of that, and so that's kind of what keeps people interested in watching her because she's still lying, you know what I mean, about begging. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. She's not acknowledging the fact that she used to do it as much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Good
yeah, she's
times.
lying about it.
Good times. Yeah, Peaches loves you. We know that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah, I gotta work on my cloning abilities. They're
Yes.
not uh
Yes.
yeah, I gotta up my game with the new year. I gotta work on my cloning skills.
I was watching one of the things I love listening to and watching on YouTube is I love watching police department interrogations of people because I just love the interactions and um, how the process goes in terms of trying to catch somebody up in a lie, and to see the psychology behind it and to see like kind of the inner movements of the lies and all that and all the things. And there was this kid that was being questioned. I don't remember what state it was for his part in a beating of a homeless man. And the kid was not like firing on all cylinders, to be honest. And the police officer says to him, police officer says, well, originally you said you were in the shelter, but now you're saying you were outside, where this guy was. How can you be in two places at one time? And the kid goes, cloning?
Oh my gosh.
And the police officer's like, so you cloned yourself so you could be in two places at one time.
I love watching those too. And a long time ago, back when I worked for the state, and I worked for state probation and parole, I went to a training session and it was actually run by someone who legit works for the FBI. And we watched different videos of interrogations, and they were pointing out how, their body language, you can tell by people's body language, different cues as to when they're lying. I remember, and again,
Yes.
this was years ago. So we were watching the interviews regarding the John Benet Ramsey
Yep.
case.
Yep.
And she was pointing out like different things to look for in the interviews. There was also, there was like a written statement that a person had given, and this person had filed a false police report. And the beginning part of the story was true, right? She had said she got assaulted by someone, but she really didn't. She was trying to frame like her ex or something. And the beginning of the story was true, where she went, say, like to a gas station, like, and went and bought something, and then she came outside and he was there. And if you look at the statement, the whole true part, because she ended up admitting that she lied. The whole beginning part that was true, the handwriting was completely different from the next part of it where the lie started.
Ah.
And you know what I mean? Like, so you
Right.
can look at things like that too. If there's an abnormality in the handwriting, because it was hard, it's hard for certain people to lie. So when they're lying, that's when these body cues come out. That's when their
Right.
handwriting changes. It's also sometimes when words they use change.
Yep.
So there was a person who had unalived his wife, and they asked him to like basically give them a rundown of what he had done the day before. And so he said, oh, I got up for work, I took a shower, I made coffee, I went to my car, I drove to work, blah, blah, blah. And then when they had him describe what happened the day that he unalived her, he was claiming that he left and went to work and that someone broke in and did this. Okay, but he did it.
Right.
He was using different words. Like, he didn't say, like, instead of saying I went out to my car, he said I got in my vehicle. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he was using different words for different things.
Yeah, you
And that he didn't.
you have these people scam that will sit there, and whenever they give too much information about not important things, that they're
Right.
lying.
And another cue was that the way that he referred to his wife, because he claimed that he came home from work and discovered her unalived in the bedroom. He didn't call her his wife or call her by her name. He said, I came into the room and discovered the body. Like, he referred to, like, why would you came home, refer to her as your wife or her by name or whatever, and be, why would you say I found the body? He kept saying the body, the body, the body. Like, that's really unusual. Yeah, it's like a depersonalization type of thing.
It's like you're trying to separate yourself from that.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. So I find all of that very, very interesting. And again, that training was years ago, but I will never forget that. And I look for different things like that when I'm watching those police
You're an ass.
interrogations and all of that too.
You're an ass. Yeah, I'm telling you, and I've said this before. If you guys want to see something that is, it's disturbing, yet at the same time, you just have to shake your head. You need to watch everything that you can find on YouTube regarding Diane Downs. And if you don't know what that story's about, you got to look it up, because she is certifiably Looney Tunes.
Oh, I have to look that up. Diane Downs, you said?
Diane Downs back in the 80s, okay? She had been married to like her high school sweetheart, and they had 3 kids, and they started having problems in the marriage, and they ended up getting a divorce. She started dating around. You could tell that even when she was younger, there was some mental health issues going on, you know? So she started dating this guy that didn't want to have children. And lo and behold, all of a sudden, there was a movie. She claimed that she was driving on a dark road one night and some guy flagged her down and then proceeded to pew pew her 3 children. But the absolutely the most interesting part of it is to get the background on her, watch the interviews after her kids had been pew-pewed, in which one passed, one, was okay but has some physical problems, and another one, I believe, was paralyzed. And the DA actually ended up adopting the 2 kids, which is pretty incredible. But watch the interview with Diane Downs after it happened, but before she was arrested. Like her demeanor, the way she talks, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. And then after she was arrested, I know that Oprah interviewed her one time on her live. But the other thing is this: you have got to, after you do that. No, one passed. A girl and a boy survived. You've got to listen to her parole hearings, because, I mean, she's never getting out. I mean, she's been denied so many times. But you have got to listen to the parole hearings and listen to her talk. I mean, it is batshit crazy to listen to her. I mean, it is wild. If you like that kind of stuff and you like watching like a criminal trial and the outcome and then like what happens following that, like over the years with paroles, she is the one to watch. Yep. If you type in Diane Downs, so much stuff will come up. There's even phone recordings that one of her boyfriends made of her talking, which is, I mean, she's nuts. She's absolutely nuts.
I'm going to look those up. The other thing that it interested me, because you mentioned
Yes, Mark.
parole hearings. When I worked at the Board of Probation and Parole, I actually got to sit in on a large number of parole hearings in several different Pennsylvania prisons, and they were very interesting. Like, I just got to sit there and observe and watch the parole board, interview the inmates and see how they make their assessments to, make their decisions and everything. It was very interesting. And in fact, no matter what role you worked at in that agency, even if you were just going to take a job as like a typist or somebody who work in the file room, anything, they required every employee to go to a nearby prison and sit on a parole hearing, and also to go out for a day with a parole agent, because they wanted you to understand what the mission of the agency is and what those processes are, even if you're not directly involved in it.
Right.
So I got to participate in a lot of different interesting things.
Mama Clark, you're 100% right. Right before Diane Downs went into prison, she was pregnant again. So she had a baby I believe when she was in prison, she had a baby, and obviously, she put the baby up for adoption. And then fast forward, like in the 90s, maybe early 2000, there was a documentary done on the woman at that point, who was the baby that Diane Downs gave up for adoption at birth. And it's interesting to hear about her. Getting to something you said too, Scam, there's this panel of guys that are former FBI, CIA. I believe there's a guy from the UK. I think he was with, what is it, M6 or something like that. They're all people that deal with body language analysis, things like that with interrogating people. And what they do is they've looked at a lot of these big cases, and they watch, you watch the interrogation with them, and then they break it down as to, what they're picking up with the person when they're lying. And it's absolutely, it's such a game of chess that both sides during an interrogation do. That is so interesting, to see, especially how these, criminals that are brought in, how they try to portray themselves and how they try to get out of things. And there's a lot of great clips on YouTube with like the full interrogations. The only thing that's annoying, obviously, is all the advertisements. Yes, collect call from. Yep, he's great on here.
Well, I pay for YouTube Premium, so then that way I don't have to watch any of the ads. And for me, it's well worth it because I watch YouTube a lot, and then you don't have to watch any of the ads. It's like a monthly subscription.
Yeah, I've thought about that, but I just can't see spending money on something like that. I mean, it never used to be like that, But the other thing is, on the other hand, if any of you guys like ever have to work out and you don't want to work out, watch a Connecticut parole board hearing. Okay, if you want to get frustrated as hell and burn off calories, my state of Connecticut, the judicial system here is an absolute joke. You got these people that will be convicted of pew-pewing somebody, and within 10 years, these people can get out of prison. Connecticut has a law where obviously you get credit for good behavior, but when you get sentenced for X amount of years. But if you take the courses and you have good behavior and maybe you get a job while you're in prison and you do all the right things, they have this caveat on there where you can get out earlier and you can spend the rest of your sentence on parole outside of being in prison. And some of these people have done some absolutely vile, disgusting things, and they're back out on the streets within 10 years. I've seen a lot of parole hearings too that I watch, like in Utah, Louisiana. Connecticut has got to be the biggest patsy state with treating criminals like criminals. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, they let out a large number early in Pennsylvania too. Unfortunately, I think a lot of it is, it's financial. They have to pay for, the all the housing, medical, food, all the needs of these inmates. And our prisons are very, very overcrowded. Prisons and jails are very, very overcrowded, to the point where, there's times that they have inmates sleeping in hallways, and like it's really, really bad. They're very, very overcrowded. I don't know what the solution is, but it's not good. And in Pennsylvania, they also have a program for, it's kind of like how you were saying, getting out early. There's a special program that inmates can apply for, and it's typically for inmates who have a sentence of 2 years or less remaining. But they can sign up for this program and go through it. And it's a boot camp program. So it's a special prison that's run like a boot camp. And it's military style. And they sleep in bunkers that are similar to like a military thing. Like it's a big room. I actually took a tour of it. There's like a big room with just a bunch of bunks and all of that. And I was like, wow, you don't have like inmates fighting and stuff in here? And he said, no, because if they even commit one type of infraction like that, then they have to go back to their original prison and serve their whole 2-year sentence. But they can go through this 6-month boot camp program, and if they complete that 6 months, they get out, and they don't have to complete their last year and a half. And I guess they figure if they can make it through this boot camp program, that, I don't know, it's more rehabilitating than just a regular prison, because they do make them go to classes. If they don't have their GED, they have to do that. Like, they have to do certain things, and if they don't comply, they have to go back and serve their whole sentence.
I'd like to see
So
what the recidivism is of
yeah,
people.
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if the success rate with the boot camp program is any better than regular prison. But I've been there. I took a tour of it. They have to march, and they have to say yes sir, no sir, and they march around, and they all have jobs. Like, they have to have a job. So the whole facility, there's no bars or gates or walls around this place.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of nowhere, like up on a mountain, up in the woods. But the thing is,
in a van by the lake.
I mean, there's nowhere. If they did try to escape, like, there's really nowhere for them to go. Like, and they'd probably get eaten by some bears or something, because like there's nowhere to go. But they're trusted with that, and they do all of, like, the inmates do all the maintenance on the property. The warden lives in a house on the property, and the inmates built that. It's self-sufficient. They do all of the maintenance, they cook all of the food, they do all of the cleaning. Like, they don't have a lot of employees other than the COs, who are very military in nature.
I'll tell you, I can pinpoint exactly when the overcrowding of prisons in this country happened. And you need to go back to the early 80s. I believe it was President Reagan, when he decided to close down all of these institutions around the country that housed the mentally ill. And the reasoning why they did that, and it's true to an extent that there was a lot of there were a lot of bad things that were happening in these institutions.
I completely agree. I actually live within walking distance of the main Pennsylvania State Hospital grounds.
Yep.
It was the main facility, and it's huge, massive campus.
Yep.
With lots and lots of buildings and facilities. And when that shut down, I was actually working for the state, and I was working for the Civil Service Commission. I used to write tests, the tests for people to get jobs. And so I wrote all of the tests for all of the law enforcement jobs. Like, I wrote tests for the Capitol Police officers and the correctional officers and the corrections counselors and all of that. And so I also wrote the tests for the psychologists that work in the prisons. So I had to go to one of the prisons and interview some of them to get, find out what would be good questions to include on tests for new employees that would be coming into this job. What kinds of knowledge should they have? And they told me that a lot of these psychologists that I had interviewed used to work at the state hospital grounds.
Yep.
They used to work in those facilities, and they told me that now they're working in the prison system because they lost their jobs over there, but they were able to keep their job, with the state. They just have to work in a prison now. And the same individuals that they used to treat in the hospital, the mental hospital, they were now treating inside the prison.
Right.
They
and
knew
it's not the same.
They knew those people. They have the same, a whole bunch of the same clients that they had in the mental hospital. A lot of them ended up in jail.
Yep. And that's, unfortunately, that is a large number. That's a large population in the prisons now.
And that's not really where they belong. And they
Right.
They do have some, mental health treatment and things like that in the prison, but it's not the same thing.
No.
Those type of individuals that were in the state hospitals didn't belong in prison.
And when those places closed, okay, um, and again, I'm not condoning. There was a lot of some funky shit that went on in a lot of these hospitals, um, and you're putting all of these people out, on the streets, or moving in with family that is probably not a good fit for them. And I know in Connecticut you had a number of very large facilities. Another rabbit hole y'all want to go digging through is take a look at Fairfield Hills Hospital that is actually in my town. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous buildings. In the early 1900s and all that, it was particularly for people with mental illness. And at first it was great, and then things happened that were not so great. But what happened over time when they were starting to get the clients out of there, it turned into like a drug and alcohol rehab facility, which was not good, because a lot of these people were coming into, the center of town and, causing some problems and all that. And then it was just shut down automatically. But,
Yeah, I mean, there was issues in those facilities for sure, but I know in our state, a lot of it was they just didn't want to fund
yep.
these mental health programs anymore. And yeah, some of the people who were released, and obviously, if they committed violent crimes and stuff like that, that is where they have, they do have to go to jail and face those consequences. But in the prison system, they just don't provide enough mental health
No,
treatment for the
definitely
individuals
not.
who need it. And so it was very unfortunate. And yeah, the state hospital grounds, like I said, it's right near my house. And somebody said in the comments said about it being haunted. There have been people who have gone there and claimed that it's haunted. When I worked for Childline, they turned all those buildings into state offices. So
Yep.
when I worked for Childline, I was working in one of those buildings. That they put the Childline headquarters in one of the buildings at the state hospital grounds. And so I worked in one of the buildings that used to be a facility that they used for, mental health treatment, residential treatment. And it was kind of creepy in there. I mean, I worked in there overnights by myself. I'd be the only person in the whole entire building.
Yep.
Sometimes. So it was a little creepy sometimes, but yeah.
Something's got to change though in this country. Something has got to change because, so many of our nation's homeless. If they're not, mentally ill, they're veterans that have their own issues that they're dealing with. They're addicts that are out on the street, and it's like, no, it doesn't matter what administration is in charge. It's like nobody wants to do anything about it.
Yeah, I definitely feel that there's not enough funding for mental health treatment, and there's not enough for drug and alcohol treatment for people either. And that is what ends up contributing to a lot of homelessness, a lot of crime,
Yeah.
these other things, that end up resulting. Whereas if they would have, individuals would have had easy access
Yep.
to treatment, they might not have gone down that wrong path.
Exactly. Ugh. God,
I completely
I wish we
agree.
could fix all these problems. I wish we could fix all these problems because, we see it to an extent on this app. And don't even get me started with people that just take advantage of the system too. Because we can be on here for another 3 hours with that.
For sure.
But yeah. So okay. So your jobs tonight, folks, are to go onto YouTube and do a dive into Diane Downs, because I'll tell you that that is something. I mean, if you think that you might be you might have some mental health issues. Watch Diane Downs, and you will realize you don't, because Diane Downs, it's Dons. I'll tell you, it really, wow, it's an eye opener. Take a look at that. Also, if you're so inclined, take a look at, do a search for the Fairfield Hills campus in Newtown, because that's a whole thing. It's supposedly haunted. There's tunnels under the from building to building that had some creepy stuff going on.
Yeah, there's tunnels under our buildings and stuff like that too that connect a bunch of them.
Yep, they had their but I mean, these were like little towns within towns. I mean, they had everything there. They created their own energy. I mean, they had their own energy plant, and I mean, it was crazy shit. Crazy shit.
Yeah, ours is pretty large too. If you want to look up, I know, like I said, some ghost hunter type people have. I don't think any state offices are in that building anymore. I think they're trying to sell the campus because it's massive. And I know at one point there was a college looking at buying it to use it as a
Yeah, they
college
did that here
campus.
too. They did
But
that here.
but I don't think that has happened yet. I think that all the buildings, and they're owned by our state, and they're just sitting there now. It's the state hospital grounds in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania,
the big problem with it, though, Scam, is that all of those buildings were built in the early 1900s, and they're just laden with asbestos.
Oh yeah, and plus, like, it cost a lot of money to heat those buildings. They had very, very old furnace and heating systems and cooling systems and all of that. And again, they were still using them for state offices, and they needed to keep it, warm, warm, cold, whatever. They had employees in there. It was very expensive for them to heat and cool the buildings. And just all of that. The plumbing was old, like just
Right.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
The light fixtures, just all of it. One thing that was really weird in the building I worked in is they had, in the hallways, there were these little silver little like doors with a little door thing with a handle. And here they were laundry chutes, old laundry chutes that go down to the basement, and those are still there. You know what I mean? So all of those like old things from back when it was used as a mental health residential treatment center were still there. It was really interesting. But yeah, I mean, it they would have to make major renovations to anything like that, and the systems are so old that it's probably better off to just take those down and start over, because
And that's the problem they're having here in town. The town here gutted a couple of those buildings, and they've done the whole asbestos abatement. They've restructured the inside and all that. But I mean, that's millions of dollars to do it. And so the problem is, you have two choices. You either let them sit the way they are now, where they're not, they're not a medical, they're not detrimental to anybody's health, or you have to pay millions of dollars to knock them down. So it's a pretty bad situation all around. Pride Fighter, I've been reading your comments in there. Yeah, what happened, Pride Fighter, was we were listening to Pam, and she brought up Victoria, and I don't know anything about the situation with Victoria. I don't even know who the person is. But somebody said something about a dead name, and what I did was I just explained what that phrase meant. Because people were confused by it. So that's all. I don't know anything about Victoria or anything. So that's what that was all about. So, right, OG. Oh, way to work. So, OG, I saw your comment. If anything pops tonight, if anything is good that's live, I will stream later. Definitely. And we will just listen. We'll sit back and listen. But other than that, I'm going to get going here because I got some stuff I want to get done before dinner. So listen, thank you very much, guys. Remember, go check out Diane Downs right now in YouTube. Wow. Thank you for coming in, folks. Thank you, chat. Thank you, mods. Thank you for everything. Appreciate you guys coming in and spending some time here. Have a wonderful night. Maybe I'll see you later. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. Take care. Thanks, Scam.
Thank you.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye, guys.